After the 11-0 whomping yesterday against the Tampa Bay Rays in the finale of the 5-gamer at Rogers Center, we knew coming into this set against the Orioles that these 3 games are crucial. You can bury them, or they can get back into this wild card race. It can go one of 2 ways. We knew how this was going to start, though. Jordan Lyles got the ball for the O's, and it was a bullpen day for the Blue Jays, which is scary to all hell for all Blue Jay fans. But you know what? Didn't go half bad as the Blue Jays beat the O's 6-3, and the bats were out to play today. Every piece of offense from both teams were on the long ball. Home runs galore between the Jays and the Orioles today at Rogers Center. The Jays come out on the right end of the 6-3 win. I usually throw the broom. I'm not going to throw that. And you're now 6 games up on the Orioles, and you won the bullpen day. You now have Jose Berrios and Alek Manoah going in the next 2. We knew this game was probably going to be the one that we were the least confident in. And you got the job done. Let's break this puppy down, shall we? Bottom of the 2nd inning. Matt Chapman comes up and he gets an pitch in the inner half, and he drills it to left field. The question was it going to stay fair? It's got the distance, and it does! Solo shot for Matt Chapman, and the Jays lead at 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Great stuff. Meanwhile, Trevor Richards and Julian Merriweather did a phenomenal job through 3. And then we see the 4th inning, and we see Yusei Kikuchi come out. And we're all like, okay, sweaty palms are going to start happening because we don't trust Kikuchi at all. First batter he sees, leadoff triple for Cedric Mullins. Of course. And then Adley Rutschman takes him deep to left field. And the Jays now trail it 2-1. However, this offense can score more than one more run. I mean, we all feel that. We've seen it lately. These guys can do it. Bottom of the 5th inning, with Matt Chapman on base, he gets another single. He was crushing Jordan Lyles today. And Tapia has a really good at-bat leading to a walk, and you have 2 on and nobody out. Well, Danny Jansen lines out to center field. Jackie Bradley strikes out, and we're like, well, there goes another rally for the Blue Jays. And meanwhile, on the stupid Apple TV broadcast, I'm sorry, it's just awful. The Jays are at home at Rogers Center, right? And they talked to Gunnar Henderson twice. They don't bother talking, and Brandon Hyde once. No Blue Jay at all, which is weird. And right before the big bomb happens, well, George Springer, with the elbow stuff he's dealing with, the power hasn't been there. 2 homers in his last 29 games or whatever it is. And I think it was like the next pitch after that, he gets a hang and breaking ball, and he crushes it to left field off the face of the 2nd deck. A 3-run shot for Springer, and ain't cowards made that 3 in his last 29 for George Springer. As the Blue Jays get out in front now 4-2. Big-time home run for George Springer. We've talked about it since he's come over to the Blue Jays. The clutch factor is George Springer. He is phenomenal in these big moments. They needed a big hit, and he came through there. Massive job. Tapia and Chapman score, and the Jays are in front 4-2. And we're all freaking out still at 4-2, right? Because you see Kikuchi go back out there he went out there for the 5th inning, and we're all like, oh, God, here we go again. Doesn't allow a run, and we're like, okay, this is weird, but cool. And then, obviously, the 3-run shot happens to make it 4-2, and I'm thinking to myself, please, God, John Schneider, don't put Kikuchi back out there, and he doesn't. Goes to the rest of the bullpen for the Blue Jays, and it's locked down tight. Except for the homer from Jimmy Garcia there in the 9th inning off of Gunnar Henderson. But, 2 out, nobody on. Solo shot to make it 6-3. Nothing crazy. But in the bottom of the 6th inning, when it was 4-2, Bo Bichette gets on. Matt Chapman at the dish. And he gets another pitch on the inner half. And he kind of gulps at this one. And he drills it to left field. And it's gone again. Matt Chapman, home run number 25 and 26 on the year. He's had a homerless drought recently. That's now gone. And the Blue Jays are now out in front 6-2. Now, as I mentioned, they make the home run. They get the home run to make it 6-3. But that is all she wrote. The Jays win it 6-3 over the O's at Rogers Center. And like I said, with the W, the Jays are now 6 games up on the Orioles. Jays fans, with 16, or was it 16 games? I think it's 17, believe 16 or 17 games remaining on the schedule. The Jays are 6 games up. We can smell it. We know what we're thinking. Let's just keep going, all right? We know what's at the end of the tunnel. These 2 games here against the Orioles are massive because let's be honest here. You take the next 2, you are up 8 games with like 15 to go. Like, you are putting yourself in an immensely good situation. But let's break down the rest of this ball game, shall we? Now, let's get to this team stats, okay? Here we go. Matt Chapman had a day. We haven't talked about him offensively. He struggled mightily in that Tampa series, but he was phenomenal today. Teed off on Jordan Lyles as he does throughout his career. 3 for 4 in the ball game. Scored 3 runs, had 3 RBIs and 2 bombs. What a day for Matt Chapman, and much needed for the Toronto Blue Jays today. Look, we've seen Bo get hot lately. George Springer's coming up with some big hits lately. Vladdy had home run number 100. Matt Chapman in that series, quite quiet. Yeah, he starts this one with a bang. Really nice day for him. Danny Jansen also went 2 for 3 in the ballgame. And the one time he got out, as I mentioned in that, 5th inning, it was a line out to center field. So he had a really good day in the office, did Jano. Another couple hits for him. 8 hits total for the Blue Jays today. 9 strikeouts, and they walked 1. So again, not the biggest offensive game, only 8 hits. But when you got dudes on base, you drove them in. So a really nice day in the office for them. Now let's get to the MVPs, plural, of this game today, shall we? The pitching staff. The bullpen day went as good as it could be. Really. Trevor Richards started this game, which I was shocked about. He got just pummeled yesterday by the Tampa Bay Rays. Didn't even go in any, allowed like 3 hits, 5 runs, walked a couple. Like, he was awful. And then he goes out there today in the first inning, gets the Orioles, doesn't allow a base runner and strikes out the side. And we're like, oh, what the hell just happened? But okay, we love it. And it's a 0 in the first inning. Then Julian Merriweather goes out there. And other than giving up a walk in one of his 2 innings, no other base runners came around. And that was a great 2 clean innings from Julian Merriweather. So you got 3 innings out of those guys having 1 base runner. Phenomenal start to the game for those guys. And obviously you had a 1-0 lead as well. So we're like, okay, good stuff. Then Kikuchi went out there, and as we talked about, went 2 innings. He only allowed 2 hits, right? So he only allowed that triple and the home run to start, but that seems like using Kikuchi in a nutshell, right? He does that, and then gets the next 3 guys, right? A strikeout, little dribbler, ground out, and a strikeout. And we're like, of course, right? And then the next inning, he goes 3 down and gets a strikeout. And we're like, oh, okay, interesting. So that was a good second inning of relief for Kikuchi. Tim Mason does a phenomenal job in his inning of work. No base runners and a couple strikeouts. Adam Simber goes an inning, allows 1 hit and a strikeout. Nothing else doing there. Fantastic. Anthony Bass gets in a little bit of trouble, but gives him a hit and a walk, but gets a strikeout. Nothing else doing there. And obviously Jimmy Garcia gave the solo shot to Gunnar Henderson in the 9th inning, but that was all she wrote. Bullpen did a phenomenal job. They really did. You didn't have to use David Phelps. You didn't have to use Jordan Romano. Definitely Tim Mason didn't have to get taxed very much. He didn't have to throw many pitches. So that's a good sign moving forward. And oh yeah, you have Berrios and Manoah going in the next 2 games. So you're looking for length out of those 2 guys. So really, really, really good game for the Toronto Blue Jays today on all sides of the baseball. Good defensive plays, sound, right? Nothing flashy. Sound defensive plays, timely hits, hit the long ball, and I would say your starting pitching was good. I mean, it was great. Let's be honest. But it didn't last long, obviously. But the pitching staff overall did a really nice job. So I'm proud of these guys for this W, but you got to keep going. They're at that high water mark, 19 games over the 500. Can they hit 20 tomorrow afternoon? 3:07 first pitch of Rogers Center. Kyle Bradish gets the ball for the O's, and Jose Berrios gets the ball for the Blue Jays in Game 2 of the 3-game set of Rogers Center. We talked about coming into this series, we want to see the Jays win at the very least 2 out of 3, because then you leave Roger, or they leave Roger. I guess technically we leave as well. But you leave Rogers Center up another game on the Orioles, right? And that's exactly where you want to be. All right, so guys, that is going to do it for this one. You enjoy the video and you enjoy the ball game this evening because, other than the nonsense Apple TV gave us, Smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. What'd you like? What'd you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? The Twitter link is down below. So follow up, send me a DM to that great stuff, guys. The Instagram link is also down below. So follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, of course. You know when I'll talk to you. Tomorrow evening, Jays, Orioles, Game 2 of the 3-game set at Rogers Center. The Jays looking to go 20 games over the 500 for the first time since Game 162 of last year. All right? Kyle Bradish, Jose Berrios is the pitching matchup at 3:07 at Rogers Center. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the ball game tonight. We'll talk to you guys then.